Yeah, Maria Montessori believed that Montessori is for a classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, Montessori at home is totally different. You don't have to have those toys. You don't have to have those, those are marketing gimmicks again. I'm going to be very frank with you because you say put a fancy term, Montessori toy. Okay, let's buy Montessori toy. Kisko pata hai kya hai? 5K gone. 5K gone.
Yeah.
Next 3 months you have to again change it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a one-time investment.
Yeah.
Because they come up with curated kits for each age.
Yeah.
No, see, again, don't fall in for all this. If you're able to afford, if you want to do it. But it's not for all. Right, everyone might not be able to afford that. And making that, you have to have this set of things to be a Montessorian at home is just not right, okay? That's not right.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the space where we don't have to pretend like we have it all together. I'm your host Gunjan, and today we have Ragendu with us.
Hi.
Hi Ragendu. So Ragendu is a parent coach, she's a Montessori guide and a phonics teacher, and she's also a mom of 2, 6 and 2. 6 and 3, sorry. And she's basically the kind of person who I'd call for a pep talk at the end of the day where I've heard 15 times a no to everything I've said. So thank you again for being here. We'll jump right in and start with what was your life like before mom, before Montessori?
Okay, before being a Montessorian, basically I was in corporate. I worked for good 8 years in corporate. Productivity, on schedule, going on time, early morning shifts. So this was my life, and then motherhood hit me. And that's when things turn around. I always loved, somewhere I had a passion for teaching. And I used to always say somewhere, even in my childhood, I used to say I want to teach. So somewhere I think, motherhood ignited that once again in me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So now you're a full-time teacher.
Yes. And I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also had a brief stint of teaching in my master's. I was a teacher's assistant at that time. So I actually took a few lectures of first-year students and stuff.
Nice.
Which was pretty... I don't know, overwhelming. Because those kids are not exactly kids, right? They're adults. They're 18-year-old adults.
Correct.
But I did enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
I just never thought of that as a career for me. But I'm glad that you found your way back to it.
I loved it. See, that calling has always been there. And I'm really grateful for motherhood for making me reach that point again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to start with talking about what is Montessori at its core. For someone who has no idea and is listening to this term for the first time, how would you describe Montessori to them?
So Montessori is very simple. I would say it as, following your child. Helping your child become independent and helping your child be themselves. Okay? Rather than you putting a framework and saying, this is how my child should be, let them be independent. And following your child's path is what basically Montessori is. So you need not put it into a fancy framework or, whatever you see on social media basically. You need not put on that. Just it's so simple that, you're just looking at your child's lead. They are leading you the path. They know clearly what should be done. And you just have to observe it.
So what do you mean by when you say observe it?
Okay. So ideally we... adults, we think that a child should go this way or should be doing things in a certain order. But child actually shows you, I don't know how to explain this, but child shows you what they need. This is what I say. And that can be, we can see that only when we observe a child. As in, we should take a step back rather than being in front and telling them what to do. You take a step back and you observe what your child is doing. You have a look at what your child is doing. If your child's movements are correct, if your child is able to move, if they're able to think independently, write independently, all these when your child is able to do, just observe what they're doing. They will show you, they will guide you where they're finding it difficult or where they're excelling also.
Okay.
So if it's something is very easy for them, we know that that's very easy for the child. We can make it more challenging. So until and unless you don't observe a child, observe a child as in you have to take a step back. You shouldn't be an active participant in whatever they're doing.
Okay.
Which is very difficult for us.
Very difficult, yes. So how exactly is Montessori way of education different than the traditional education how we have all grown up? You know?
So if I'm going to a traditional setup, I bifurcate the child by the age, saying that 3 to 4 year in LKG, UKG, first standard, and I'm sticking on to a curriculum.
Yeah.
Right? I have to stick on to a curriculum.
Yeah.
If I'm a teacher, I'm sticking on to a curriculum saying that for this age, I'm going to teach only so much.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Other than that, I won't teach because that's what my curriculum says. I have to teach only till here.
Yeah.
Montessori is not like that. So we bifurcate children with the developmental age. So that is 3 to 6 have a same developmental plane. Okay? So we put all these 3 to 6 in the same group.
Oh, okay.
So the entire class is mixed age group.
Okay.
Okay, so in this mixed age group, we have all sorts of children who are going through this same developmental plane. And the 3-year-old, when I observe my child, I might know that this child has more potential. I'm not going to stick on to or stop that child. I'm going to help the child move further. So even in Montessori, we have elementary as well. So once the child reaches 5, 6, and we see that the child has more potential, we continue there. So that's why it's more different in terms of curriculum. Other thing is in terms of making choice. These children, as they enter the class, they have choice of work. Okay. It's not that I don't have a period. Okay, I don't stick on to a period saying that now it's math, now it's English, or now it's playtime. No, I don't stick on to that. So here it's a flow. So the child can choose what to work with. So they have this choice of working with whatever they want. Sensorial, practical life activities, language, geography, whatever they want, they can work with that. So there's a choice for that child. And sense of freedom, independence. No one is telling them that you have to do this. And if they have to do that, they don't need me. I have already shown them how to work with a particular material. If they want that, they can do it independently. So they don't have a dependency basically. They don't have dependency.
Okay.
And they're free to move around. They choose their own work. This is very different from our traditional setup.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, how would a child who's gone through the Montessori way of education versus a child who's gone through the traditional way of education, right from the beginning, how would they differ?
So, like I said, this child is more independent. This child can choose their own things. And more than that, this child knows and loves learning. Okay, no one has forced this child to learn anything.
Yeah, so that's why, because they're picking up what they want,
yes,
as opposed to being told what to do.
Yes, definitely. And it's not that in Montessori we do not say something is easy or something is difficult.
Okay,
everything has its same level. Okay, we wouldn't bifurcate saying that that is difficult. That's according to the child's pace. That's all.
Oh, okay.
It's not as per what we decide. That's for what the child decides. So in a traditional school, if the child, I wouldn't say only Montessori children are the best children. No, Montessori helps bring out the best in the child. That's all. Yeah.
Right. But tell me something. See, we as parents have grown up in the traditional way of schooling, right? How do I, as a first-time parent, come to believe that Montessori is the best thing or the best way to go forward for my child?
So, we all have learned in the traditional route learning method, right? So, someone would, on the chalk, they would write, on the board, they would write 1 to 100. You repeat it like 10 times. You go home, write it 10 times. So, you have by hearted 1 to 100. Did you know how much is 1? Did you know how much is 100? No. Okay, so but in Montessori, when it comes to arithmetic, I'll tell you how beautiful it is. I hated maths throughout my life, okay? And when I did my course, I was like, oh my God, math could be so beautiful. Okay, so in Montessori, we focus on ensuring we give the concrete before giving the abstract. Numbers are abstract. Your language is abstract. Until unless you write a script and show it, it's abstract. What you and me are talking is abstract. Length, width, breadth, all these are abstract concepts.
Yeah.
How will a child learn abstract concept? Yeah. So we can teach a child or guide a child basically only when they get their hands on to things. So this 3 to 6 years is a very, very crucial year. They're high on the sensitive period. How many times would you have told not to touch that and they go and touch the same thing?
Every time.
So that happens always. So that's the same thing. Okay, so here what we do is we give things to the child's senses. Now, what we learnt is route method, because someone said H2O is water, 2 hydrogen and oxygen. Where is this hydrogen? Where is this oxygen? Who knows? Okay. We learn that way.
Yeah.
But here what's happening is we're giving it to the child. Okay, in Montessori, when I'm teaching you one, I'll show you one bead, a golden bead.
Okay.
This is 1 unit.
Okay.
Okay. Next, I don't teach 2, 3, 4. What I teach is 10. See how many units are there in a 10? 10 units make a 10.
Yeah.
Next, how many 10s are there in a 100?
10.
10 hundreds.
Huh.
How many hundreds are in a 1000?
10.
10. So
10 hundreds
it's
in a 1000. Huh.
teaching hierarchy.
Yeah.
At the age of 3, 3.5, the child learns hierarchy.
Hmm.
Okay, like, they keep on arranging 1, 2, 3, 4 small beads, okay?
Yeah.
It's very nice to see. Once they reach 9 and they're like, there's no bead. If you have one more, how much would you get? 10. You already have a 10 there.
Okay.
So you see that placement of unit, 10s, 100s,
Ha,
1000s.
ha, ha, ha.
We give that experience to the child.
Hmm.
Rather than me writing in the board and still wondering, okay, doing this with our hands and feet. My child over there learns unintentionally. Actually, they are not like, thinking that today I have to learn arithmetic. Oh my God, I have this. No. It's very beautiful to see how they learn this abstract concepts using materials. So this sensitive period, once they understand the concept, right, they're going to carry it throughout their lifetime, which is what we parents need. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, that's what I would say to all the parents. It's just that you giving that exposure to your child and openness for the child to learn things at their own pace and in a beautiful way will carry up throughout their life. Yeah, that would actually help them. Montessori doesn't stop only this. We have science experiments as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have so many science experiments which we do at inside the class. So we teach even science. We teach botany. I never knew there's something called a simple leaf and compound leaf, pinnate leaf, and all the.
Okay.
Yeah, we teach all these kind of stuff
Okay,
to
wow.
children.
From 3 to 6?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, my children, I recently showed them simple and compound. I usually take things out of the classroom. I took them out, took them to the garden, showed them how a simple leaf is, compound leaf is. So their assignment was to go around and find out simple and compound leaf.
Okay.
That was their homework basically.
Okay.
This is the fun kind of homeworks we do.
Yeah.
So these children, they drew. One girl drew all the leaves. Another girl, she painted all the leaves. Like, she painted the leaf and she took imprints of the leaves. Yeah, she did that. Another boy, what he did is he drew simple and compound, and he put numbers. How many ever he saw, he put the numbers.
Okay.
So see how botany can be introduced at this age. So it's not limited. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are so many things so your child can be exposed to. Your child already knows. We all believe that, child already comes with heap of knowledge. They've seen so many things around them.
Yeah.
Okay. They just don't know to put the label.
Yeah.
And we are just guiding them to put the label. So basically, if you would love for your child to love their childhood and learn with love, basically you would choose Montessori.
Wow, that's a beautiful explanation, I must say. If that didn't convince anyone, I don't know what will. No, but genuinely, like, there's also this concept that Montessori doesn't have rewards or, they don't have tests and stuff, right? So how do parents get that validation that my child is actually learning?
Very good question. Because that usually comes up, you don't have test. How will I know what my child is doing?
Yeah.
Test is for whom? First question. Why are we testing the child? Okay. A child 3 to 6 years, why do we need to test their knowledge at that point of time? There's no point in testing their knowledge. So in Montessori, what we have is something called as observation again, which I said. So we have parent observation. Any Montessori school is supposed to conduct a parent observation.
Okay.
Basically, we have 3 trimesters. The first and last would be the observation, and the middle one would be a normal PTM kinds. So the first one, when they come in, they'll see how the child is, right? What all activities the child is doing. They just get a glimpse of what the child is doing. Last trimester, when they come in, they see where the child has reached already. Okay. This child, in terms of, if I have to say, practical life activities, was doing very simple, like, transferring, scoping, sponge transfer and all those. Now has moved ahead to chandan paste, polishing brass, polishing mirror.
Okay.
Okay, that gives you an idea. Sensorial again, same way. The cylinder blocks which we have, most of them would be knowing that.
Yeah.
If the child has advanced more to, constructive triangles, these are all materials, basically. So when the child has advanced, that gives an idea for the parent as well, where the child has reached. In language, if I have to say, the child who used to know all the sounds now has started framing words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that gives you, that itself is a proof for you.
So
Got
it's
it?
the parent observation that is
Yes.
the test. So technically, you're not actually putting that pressure of
On the
tests
child.
on the child.
Yes.
The parents can just come and
Yes.
watch.
Yeah, and basically,
Wow.
each presentation, each material which we give to the child, we call it as presentation because it's called gift of knowledge. So it's in
Okay.
that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a presentation to a child. Each time when I'm giving presentation, it's a test for me as well. Why? Because I give the presentation, I sit along with the child, I observe what the child is doing. If the child is doing wrong, that means whatever I gave is wrong. It's my fault, not the child's fault. The child was either not ready for it, or I have done something wrong.
Okay.
I haven't planned properly. So it's on me.
Right.
So everything, our child is always at the pedestal for us. Anything wrong is on us.
So what do you mean by presentation exactly?
So presentation is a way of using a material.
Okay.
So you would see so many materials. So each material has a end goal where we reach at. What we see as a teacher or a guide, what we see where the child should reach, or what all points we need to observe. So if the child is refining those skills, then we move ahead with the next material. So how to use a material, I have to present it to the child. So children never take any material which we haven't presented to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we open all the boxes and keep. And they're like, "Ma'am, can you show that? Can you show that?"
Okay,
We're
okay,
like,
okay.
"Wait, I will show it to you someday."
Okay.
So we create that eagerness in them. So they keep on repeating these activities, which shows, and that's an indicator for us to know if we can give that next one or not.
But a child would just go and pick up what they want, right?
No, because that's called ground rules. Okay. So even in a Montessori environment, although we have freedom, it always comes within limits. So we clearly tell to the children, first when they enter into the class, we just don't allow them to randomly move around. First thing, we have a group, we talk to them, we tell them, the ground rules. We do not run inside the environment, because if we run, they trip, fall on the materials. What if something happens?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do not allow them to run inside the environment, walk in the environment, talk softly, because if
Okay.
we talk loudly, you might be disturbing others. Focus is very, very important for everyone, right? If you hear small noise here and there, you might get distracted. And you do not touch the materials which we haven't shown you. We make it very clear. And children are very obedient. Is it? They are very obedient.
Where are these children?
Come to my class, I'll show you.
So because then there's also this confusion that parents have, right? That probably Montessori won't work for my child because they're so strong-willed and they don't listen to me at all at home. How will this work? They will do whatever they want.
Because parents are parents, okay? See, even now, if your mom comes into the home, the comfort you feel.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
So parents are comfort zone, basically. But when you come to a school, it's not. You have so many other people. You don't feel like, doing that. And we are a little firm sometimes. Not strict, I would say. But, we'll say, you must follow the ground rules in the class. When we say that, they understand.
Yeah.
They understand. And, it becomes a rapport such that with the teacher and the child, later on, I need not even say you're making noise. After a week or so, now what I do is to the children, if they're running, I just look at them and like, they go back. I'll walk. Those are 3-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about that. I'll walk.
Wow.
And then one girl, she's very cute, a small one. So she comes running around and she says, "Ma'am ka baat sunna hai." I said, "हाँ सुनना तो है, but you're running."
She'll
Okay,
do
I'll
what
walk.
Oh, God.
I tell you, we have such good rapport with our children. Sometimes we need not even talk.
Yeah.
Just
our
our gestures.
eyes would do the
I'll
talking.
like this, full kathakali.
Interesting.
Full time. It's really fun to have children around. Although sometimes, end of the day, you feel like, oh, sometimes. But end of the day, when they leave the classroom, you're like, oh, don't leave.
Oh, that's sweet. So when did you decide that, this is the kind of education I want to give to my kids. How did that journey look like for you?
Thanks to COVID again, because
Oh.
I think Montessori came into light during the COVID time. So I was not well aware of Montessori or any. For me, it was just any normal school. Traditional school setup. That was what was in my thought. But thanks to COVID, when we were all under lockdown, we were forced to see things, and we were forced to research. That's when I was like, I saw Montessori. I was like, who is this Montessori? Come on, let me search. That's when I got to know it's so beautiful concept. It's differently portrayed. What I thought, basically, to be very frank, what I thought was Montessori is all about the shelf setup. But the first instance what I got was shelf, 4 to 5 toys, minimal toys. But later when you dive deep into it, you get to know that, it's nothing. It's not even the shelf. It's just the way of life. How you lead the life with a child. That is just Montessori. Purely Montessori.
So it's about the mindset.
Yeah. So basically, I like the approach towards a child. Thinking everything from a child's perspective. Putting the child first. That really hit me. We never have thought about that aspect or anything. And this was, I found it really beautiful. And then I was continuing my corporate. We were under lockdown and all those stuff. And then I told my husband, no, high time. I have to move from corporate. It's not about corporate. It's about me wanting to do something with the child and for the children. Basically. So that is what led me over into Montessori path.
Wow. Now what about your kids then? Like they also go to Montessori schools, right? Till 6th
the elder one is now going to traditional school. But the younger one comes along with me. We are in the same school.
Oh wow.
We're in the same school, and the elder one was also in the same school. He completed his Montessori till the age of 6.
Okay, awesome. My question would have been, how did you choose the school? But now you've answered that. You teach at it. Okay. But in general, if a parent has to choose a Montessori school, how should they go about it? Because there are so many now.
And there are so many naam ke vaste bhi.
Exactly.
Okay.
You Google Montessori, every school is calling itself as a Montessori school.
Yeah. So a few key things to look is your educators, from where are they certified. You can freely ask the school and get to know from where are they certified. The best would be AMI or IMTC.
Okay.
These two, if your trainers are trained from there, because it's a rigorous course,
they will be good.
they should be good.
Okay. Yeah.
So in that, either these two certified are the best. If not, at least they should have a diploma in Montessori.
Okay.
Okay, are the trainers, do they have experience? And you can, in general, how was the school talking to you about Montessori? When you approach a school, what are they talking to you about Montessori? Is it the shelf that are they just selling you the environment, or are they trying to show what we actually do with the child? So there is one point wherein the aesthetics would be very pleasing and nice, and parents might fall for it. There would be other school, aesthetically wouldn't be that pleasing, but they're really good at Montessori. So you have to take feedbacks from previous parents. Look if their teachers are certified. Talk to them. Ask the school if the teachers are certified and from where. And look around the environment. Are they all child friendly, approachable for the child? Is a child given a freedom or independence in that? And one key thing all parents should do is, any Montessori should allow you for observation. Even before you take an admission, any common person for that matter, if they want to go and observe Montessori, they should be able to tell you a yes. The minute they say a no, turn back and go back. Don't go in.
Don't go in.
Yeah, because if they are true to Montessori, they would allow you for silent observation, wherein you can just sit in one place, observe how the environment works. So the children over there don't care, because they have seen people come and go for observation. They are in their own swing. The teachers are also in their own swing. So it's a regular day for them. So that is when you get to know if your child can fit into this or not.
So just to sum it up, can you give me 3 things that a parent should ask a school before choosing it for a Montessori school?
Okay, basically the teacher's qualification. Second one would be an observation. And third one, the way they talk. I don't know how to put this across, but how the school is approaching you.
So what are we looking at when we're talking about how the school is approaching?
It shouldn't be, they're trying to sell you something. Got it? I have been to schools wherein they turn and they show PPT to you. They're like, it's like a business.
Yeah.
Okay, that shouldn't be the case. Okay, so there should be some authenticity. There should be a connection with you and the school, right?
So parents should also be well read about Montessori.
yes.
They should also understand
Yes.
what Montessori is for this, right?
Yes, definitely. How the school works, how Montessori functions, because Montessori is not something you see a straight up graph in the development.
Yeah.
It's a very slow pace growth, very slow. Parents might not see it every day, but we see it every day.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
there are minor things which we observe, the parents might not, because they are not in the school basically to observe.
yeah.
But we observe that and we get to know how the growth of the child is. It's slow, but it's always to the high. Never comes dipping down. Because we even allow children to just sit idle.
Oh.
Even we have those days here when we get up from the bed, we don't want to like move anywhere.
Yeah.
We just want to sit.
Yeah.
So the child comes and says, I don't want to do anything today. Okay, take a mat and sit down. What else can I do?
Wow.
Yeah. So we allow that. See,
Yeah.
when we give freedom, we should give freedom for that as well.
True.
So there's this one girl who wants to sit on the mat. She doesn't want to do any work. I said, okay, you're free to go and sit on the mat. But then she wants to work. She wants to talk. I said, see, children sitting on the green mat cannot keep talking like this. Okay, you're supposed to observe. Immediately she folded her mat. She took her mat and she started working.
Pick up something. Yeah. I'm sure that's what I was saying. They would get bored and eventually pick up something.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
So they're free to do that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So Montessori graph is not, it's not that every day should be productive.
Huh.
There will be days when it's just, the child doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So that is
truly
also there.
respecting the
Oh,
child's wants.
Yes,
here.
definitely.
I think that would definitely foster a lot of independence and confidence in the child.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
When they feel heard about everything.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
That's what I tell to parents, these children update us everything in their lives, okay? Thank God they don't share ATM pin cards and all to their children, otherwise they would come and tell us that as well. One girl, she went to Kanchi, she got, her mother got pink color sari, she got blue color, this one langa blouse and all those. She came and she told the story. And in the PTM, I asked her mother, how was your brother's wedding? And she's like, how did you know my brother got married? I was like, we get to know everything.
Oh God. Yeah, I think they would have a different level of trust with you guys because of the amount of freedom and independence you're providing them with.
Yes.
So what would a typical day at a Montessori school look like?
So our children are very smart, okay, because and materials also, whichever we have only one set of materials that teaches them patience basically. So if someone else is working, what should you do? You should wait. Patience. You need that patience. You can't go around them. Finish. You can't do that, okay? Unlike we adults, we can't do that. So it teaches them patience basically. So these children come planning way ahead. While they're climbing the stairs, they're planning next. Okay, first what activity should I do? Next, what should I choose? They plan and they come. So basically, as soon as they enter, they greet. They keep their bags. They take their mat. It's a slow paced thing. They start choosing their material. They start working. In between, their friends would come saying a hi and all those. And those highs are very soft. It's not a loud one. Hi. It's very nice to see. They come and they hug us. They're so happy to see us. They come, they hug us. Few say, I love you, ma'am. Okay. Most of my boys say that. They come and they hug us. I love you, ma'am. I'm like, even I love you. So they go inside. They keep their bags and they choose their work. And as the work progresses, we see, we actually take a step back. We immediately don't go and say, I will give you this, I will give you that. No, because we want our children to repeat whatever they have done. Only with repetition can you attain perfection. So we allow them to repeat things. When they're repeating, we see that, the child is ready for something. That's when we offer a new presentation. We plan for that ahead. And then we have story time. We have circle time. We walk on the elliptical line, all of us together. There's an elliptical line in the class.
Okay.
All of us walk on elliptical line because children love to walk on that linear path.
Yeah.
So we do that. And there are different variations to it. We do silence activity. Entire class is silent. So that gives the sense of calmness and peace and all of those. And then, they have snack time. And then they leave. So basically that is our...
so like a 4-hour...
yeah. Sort of 4 hours, yeah.
basically.
So the younger ones go a little early. 3 years old. They go a little early, but the others stay back for 1 more hour.
So the school provides that flexibility of having different times for different
Yeah,
age
because see, there's a limit for these children to sit,
Yeah,
right?
true,
So we
true.
have to cater to that need as well.
Hmm.
So we give them a shorter time, and going the next year we would increase that time. So that gives them that adaptability as well. I can't expect a 3-year-old child to sit and continuously do activities. They would go mad. They would be like, lady, stop it. Okay. Because although see, they have fun time with their friends also, somewhere there is a line. After some time they
Yeah.
can't. We have to understand that.
True. So I recently got a DM. I'll tell you about it. She, parent to a 4-year-old, I think. She told me that she'd put her daughter in a Montessori school, and she had to take her out and move her to a traditional school because it was getting too late for her to start reading, and she was not getting that push that she needed to start reading, and she hadn't started reading. So that's why she decided to pull her out of the school and put her in a traditional school. So now my question to you is, a lot of people have this misconception that Montessori is only for a certain kind of child. What do you have to say about that?
It's a total myth. Montessori is for everyone. Montessori can adapt towards the child's need, basically. Okay, so if I have to tell about this, the reading and writing part, basically, we always believe that writing comes before reading.
Okay.
Yeah, because and when I say writing, it is not necessarily pen and pencil.
Okay.
Okay, we have something called as movable alphabet. Okay, with there are cutouts of letters where you can take and place and frame the word. We give a picture and they frame the word. So that is also a kind of writing wherein you place the sounds.
Yeah.
Although you're not writing with your hand, that is a part of writing. Okay, so writing precedes reading. What is reading basically? Reading is not just saying sat. That's not reading. When a child reads, understanding the emotion to which the line is saying, or what is the author trying to say, or what is the line with that excitement. If the child is able to understand, that is called reading.
Yeah, true.
If the child is just blindly reading a sentence, doesn't mean the child knows to read.
They might not understand it.
Yes, that
They
is
might
just them
be
decoding
reading.
and blending.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
we can stop it at that. Now here, why that child was not given that? Could be, the teacher was waiting for some right time to help the child. We never know what's happening back.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So was the child finding it difficult to read? Were they doing something else? Were they trying to help the child read in a certain way and bringing it over there? We never know. When we take abrupt decisions, we never know. Okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
I can make the child sit and try force them to read.
Yeah.
But forcing a child to read will only they'll lose the interest.
Yeah, true.
If we want a child to love reading, love language, we should never it shouldn't be a forced action, right? It should be something that they are interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tell the children to go repeat the activities. Can you work with this pouch? Can you work with that pouch? So in a pouch we give pictures.
Okay.
So we'll say, I have new pictures in new pouch. Do you want to do? Okay. Full drama. Okay. Do you want to do and all? So that when the child understands words and then slowly starts reading. So reading is not something that comes before writing. Reading always comes after writing. Something that we all misunderstand, because saying that, the child knows at a sat.
Yeah.
Okay, at a bat. Oh, my child is reading. No, my child is not reading, basically. A child is just putting things together
yeah.
and blending. That is not reading perhaps.
Yeah,
Okay, so reading will always come later. And if the child is finding difficulty in blending, I have few children who really find it difficult in blending. So we sit separately with them. We help them, oral blending. We do a lot of exercises which happens behind. So until unless the child is not confident in blending, they will not read a sentence. So it takes time. Montessori takes time. Like I said, it is not a graph that you can see like that, might be, if we would have just given some time for the child.
Possible.
Yeah. We never know.
But I think we all have grown up in that competitive and milestone aligned growth.
Correct.
That, okay, by 3 the child should be doing this, by 4, by 5, by 6. It's all defined, right? Even if you Google something like this, it will give you a list of milestones by age. And because parents are coming from that mindset, it's very difficult for them to fathom that, oh, it's possible that my child won't read till 5 or 6. How do you sort of tell a parent that it's okay?
See, who are we to decide when the child should do what? Who are we to decide when the child should be born? The child decided, right?
That is true. Yes.
Yeah. So we cannot put a time frame saying that the child should do such thing by this age, right? When, see, nowadays our parenting style is also changing.
Yeah.
So we think a lot from the child's perspective right now. I think we have to think about this also. If you even forced your child to walk, would your child have walked earlier?
No.
No. Child would have taken child's own sweet time to walk, talk, everything.
Yeah.
So when child is doing that by their own will and movement, that is more important than you having a checklist. Okay, so delays are something different. Okay, delays are different. It is not that your child at this age should attain this or something like that. Okay, especially reading and writing. For few people, it might be easy.
Yeah.
For few, it might be difficult. They need that extra push or that extra help, if I would say. So if those children need that help, we would just provide it. It's not that I cannot tell that the child should be doing this at this certain point of time. Like I said, who are we to decide this for the child?
Yeah.
The moment we realize, we are nothing and we can't choose for the child, I tell you, it can humble you as a parent.
Yeah.
The moment you realize that, your child is a different personality and you shouldn't be imposing your thoughts on your child, that moment changes everything. So when you think that, this shouldn't be, that's not right for me to choose what my child should be doing, right?
Yeah.
But, in a Montessori environment, like I would say, we give equal importance to everything. And if we find that the child is finding difficulty in one area, you don't know how excellent the child could be in another area.
True.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have seen children doing brilliant with math in million numbers.
Oh.
I would say, yeah. Okay, in Montessori, we don't stop with units and tens. We go till millions.
Yeah.
So, this child is doing beautifully. But child is finding difficulty in forming ng sounds. As in swing, ring, ng.
Okay.
My child is at that level.
Yeah.
So, continuously we had to support the child. And, there's something called a sensitive period.
Yeah.
For each person, it might be different, okay? It could, there is a age range, but still, when does it hit could be different. So this sensitivity period for this child, for the language wasn't yet there, okay? If we kept on pushing more, the child would start hating doing anything with language. We did not push the child. All in a sudden, one day she came, she took the large vowel alphabet, she did by herself and she's like, I'd finish it. And within a month, the child progressed with like 5 to 6 pouches. That is like 5 to 6 different sounds.
Okay.
Difficult version, which is the long vowel sounds and all those. So the child progressed to that. So tapping at the right time is very important.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. We can't decide for the child,
So can you just explain a little bit more about sensitive periods and what that means, what that term exactly means?
So sensitive period is basically a child doing something willfully. Sensitivity is something that it's inner. Okay, you cannot explain it how it is. They grow a certain interest.
Okay.
It's a sudden interest that they have in particular thing. Okay, sensitivity towards language. They'll all in a sudden you see the child picking up language.
Yeah.
Towards arithmetic.
Yeah.
So all of these are called sensitive periods wherein you have to tap it at the right moment. Sensitivity to order comes to 3 to 6 years. So whenever we take in a Montessori environment, when we take a material, you have to keep it back at the same place. That builds a sense of order.
Yeah.
The sense of order can carry throughout your life.
True.
Even when you have some problem, okay, it's not a chaos. Let me take it step by step. So sense of order. So all these are sensitivity periods. These and tapping it at the right moment. Although I can give you the age range 3 to 6, might happen at 6.
Yeah.
Might happen at 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when to catch that? That you can catch only if you observe the child.
So we come back to observing.
Yes. Everything is connected to observation.
Observation.
Yeah.
So if as a parent, I'm sending my child to a Montessori school, is that enough? Or do I also need to do some changes at my home?
Montessori always begins at home. Okay. Because I'll start off with this. I throw you into a planet where everything is ginormous. Like, you can't reach anything. You want to do things, you can't do anything. Imagine your situation. Okay? And now let's put it into child. You bring child to this environment wherein nothing is of their size. Nothing. They can, they can't even reach the sofa. They cannot do anything. Okay? Everything is huge for them. Okay? They're in this world which is built for adults and not for them. Okay? So Montessori basically focuses on making the child independent. Independence, basically. In home, you don't have to buy Montessori toys, no expensive stuff. Don't have anything. Just provide circumstances wherein the child can be independent.
Okay.
How can you do that? Step stool near your tap. So they can wash hands by themselves and they did not call you 100 times. Okay. Something like, a small snack corner where then they can go and have their snack. They need not be dependent on you. If you want to give a choice of 3 to 4 clothes for them to choose, keeping it at their level. Okay. So this creates independence in the child.
Yeah.
And confidence in the child. So Montessori always begins from home. As a parent, if you are not convinced about Montessori, there's no point in you putting the child into Montessori school. Okay, if you are not convinced, definitely you would create a conducive environment for the child to be independent at home. Right? So Montessori always starts at home. And then it goes to the school.
Because, yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of mindset change needed for parents.
Yes.
Because even we tried this, right? We, till date, try our best to give as much independence as possible to Kian. Right from birth, we've been trying to do that, like the options for clothes, like you said, having a step stool near the tap, having the, options for snacks, for example. But sometimes, because of his strong-willed nature, like he's so strong-willed, I give him 2 options. He'll be like, no to both.
I love it.
No. Simple example. Do you want a banana or an apple? I want a mango. Like, okay.
See, child is very clear. Okay, your options is not.
I don't care. And at that moment, all your bookish knowledge just goes out of the window.
Yes.
Because the books tell you, give your child 2 options, they'll choose one. My child is like, none. So what do I do?
Your child, options work only till 2.5, 3. Okay. Slowly they start realizing, if I say something also, that should also work.
Yeah.
Got it? So they are very brilliant. They're very brilliant in understanding where to.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So, see, in terms of that, Montessori books should be a guide to you. It shouldn't be a hard and fast rule.
Yeah.
Basically, you give only 2 options to your child. Or rather, we would say, we have only these 2 at home. What do you want? Okay, in that case, the child says mango also. I'm sorry, there's no mango.
There's no mango. Then there's a tantrum.
Then there's a tantrum for which we have to deal somehow or the other.
Yeah.
Anything, there's a tantrum. You give mango, the way you cut mango is not correct. The way you pay. So, see, tantrum is there no matter what. How many ever options you give, there's no option, tantrum is there. Okay. So, how do we deal with it is different.
Yeah.
How do we deal with it? That is what matters, basically. So, Montessori books, I would say, should be just only a guide for you and not a hard and fast rule for anyone. So, shouldn't take it too much into you. When you create sense of independence also for the child, every freedom comes with a limit.
Yeah.
Every freedom for that matter. No matter what, it comes with a limit. So, there's a limit that we as parents draw, saying that, I know you want this, but I'm sorry. Understanding their emotions, validating it, that is what is very important.
So, talking about books, books can be very overwhelming sometimes.
True.
Like, I read this book in my pregnancy. It was called Montessori at Home or something. It basically talked about Montessori from 0 to 3 and how you can implement it at home. It took me my entire pregnancy to get through that book because it was so overwhelming. Every chapter, I would be like, okay, no, I need a break. I'll read one more chapter. No, I'm not ready for this. Because it just tells you to do so much, and then it's talking from 0 to 3 and the baby's not even here yet. And you're just like so overwhelmed. So how do you sort of approach that, right, as a parent? How do you approach when you pick up a Montessori book? Because they can be a little heavy.
Yeah. So, Montessori is interpreted by many people in many ways. Same like your Bhagavad Gita. Okay. It can be interpreted in many ways by many people.
Yeah.
So there are a few people who say, no, Maria Montessori said this, so you have to follow this.
Yeah.
If you're like, chalta hai. It's okay. So feel like that. So basically, if you see books, if they're too overwhelming for you, I would say stop reading it. Don't go for it. Why do you want to put yourself through all this hell?
Because as a first time parent, you want to do the best. Like there is no, you don't want to like even give yourself a chance to be wrong.
True,
like,
true.
Especially someone like me, you know. I want to make sure I'm doing
Everything's
it properly. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm a big freak that way. So that's why I never put it down.
Okay.
I completed it. I actually completed it. And we still go back to it. But now it's less overwhelming because we're in that.
Correct.
And now we're selective. Okay, this works, this doesn't work. It's fine.
Yeah.
But as a first-time parent, reading it for the first time,
like, so if you're a first time parent and going to be a parent and seeing this podcast right now, I would say put the book down. Okay, don't read it. If anything for that matter in parenting is overwhelming for you and making you doubt yourselves and think too much, don't do it. Okay, because you don't have to push yourself so much. A child is just a child. Okay, the child will grow. See, again, how we make few differences in our life is what matters. Basically, and not following a rigid rule that you have to follow XYZ only. For me, in my household, for that instance, we don't follow strict Montessori. Although I'm a Montessorian, at home I give that freedom, I give that independence. That's secondary, but I do not have a particular shelf and activities arranged and all those things, because somewhere down the lane I felt, no, this is not what I need for my home. Okay, for my child, the values that I want as a Montessorian is different, and the setup what I need is different. Okay, and each child's need is different.
Yeah, true.
Yeah? So that way we can see what the child needs and we can be more flexible with that. So I right now, since I have done this Montessori, now I know how to tackle these things through a Montessori way actually. Yeah, so I know how to do that. I need not have this strict hard and fast rule which other people have set up for me. Maria Montessori never told you should have Montessori at home, to be very frank.
Yeah.
Maria Montessori believed that Montessori is for a classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, Montessori at home is totally different. You don't have to have those toys. You don't have to have those, see, those are marketing gimmicks again. I'm going to be very frank with you, because you say, put a fancy term, Montessori toy. Okay, let's buy Montessori toy. Kisko pata hai kya hai? 5K gone. 5K gone.
Yeah.
Next 3 months you have to again change it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a one-time investment. Because they come up with curated kits for each age.
Yeah.
No, see, again, don't fall in for all this. If you're able to afford, if you want to do it. But it's not for all. Right, everyone might not be able to afford that. And making that, you have to have this set of things to be a Montessorian at home is just not right. Okay. That's not right. So you cannot have those kind of set rules saying that this should be done at home. Only then can your child be a pure Montessorian. No, that is not how Montessori works. Montessori is very simple. It's not at all this complicated. So I was like that, a parent, who was paranoid that I have to change. Oh, I have to rotate the toys now. Come on. It's Friday. Come, let's do it. I was that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm laid back. I'm like, khelne do aur do hafte. Kya hoga? Okay.
Nice.
So the way I approach to it is different right now.
Yeah.
Because I know how to handle these things right now. So all that you read, like I said, put that book down. think from the child's perspective. So what all do you need for the child to be independent? All those, you just think from that perspective.
So you're talking about values a lot here, right? So can you give us maybe 2 or 3 values that our parents should be aware of when building an environment for the child?
The first and very important thing is respect to the child. Respecting a child is very, very important. I think, our society as a whole, wo bacha hai. Okay, wo bacha hai. That is different. Okay, so when you think things from a child's perspective and respect a child, when they say a yes, when they say a no, when you respect it, although when they say a no, it might come with a boundary. Again, it comes with a limit. When I'm saying, when they know that they are being respected at a place, they feel so safe.
True.
They feel safe to come and tell anything and everything to you, which is what we want. Okay, my value is basically respecting my child, providing independence for my child, and helping them realize that they are enough. Yeah, these 3 things matter a lot.
True.
Yeah, respect is the biggest thing, I would say. Yeah, there's this one story about Maria Montessori. So when she started this Casa di Bambini for the children, these children were actually laborers' children.
Yeah.
She started it for the laborers' children, and when she started that, and it was going, and one day she walks in and she showed the children how to sneeze. We have a presentation for that.
How to sneeze.
Yeah,
Okay.
how to sneeze. And when you have a cold, how to sneeze into a towel. We have a presentation for that. We show children, we take a napkin and we sneeze and we discard that napkin. And the children were so happy. They were like, no one taught us this one. Imagine, that's a small thing, right? No one sits and teaches you, okay, today I'll show you how to sneeze, but we do that. So silly as it sounds. We're like, come today, let's learn how to sneeze. Okay, we do that as well. So that is also a way to make the child independent.
Yeah.
Which we do not see. And they were so thankful and grateful to Maria Montessori for that. They came separately and they told her, it is in her diaries, that these children came to her and told, we are really thankful that you came and taught us, because no one told us, you can clean your nose by yourselves. You don't have to depend on anyone.
Yeah.
These simple things, when they gain that self-respect and self-independence, when they gain that, we create confident human beings for the future.
That's true.
So all you have to do in home, your values should be respect for the child, independence, and ensure that they know that they are enough. When they know that they gain the confidence, there's nothing that's going to break them. Yeah.
Nice. That's really beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
So, again, can you give me some ideas or some swaps that parents can do at home to implement these things? So, we talked about the values or we talked about the mindset we're going ahead with, but some practical things that they can do.
Okay, practical things I would say is like having a step stool. See, again, it need not be your very costly, fancy wooden step stool and all those, okay? Buy a basic step stool which is sturdy enough to handle the child's weight. At my home also, what I have is basic stool. Okay? Yeah. So that is also enough. What is the purpose? Our end goal is for the child to be independent. So have a small step stool. Have a small step stool for the kitchen wherein they can come. Have kid-friendly knives if they can help you. When you're doing something in your kitchen, have them with you. Kitchen is the best place for all kind of sensory exploration. True. I need not even tell it to you because you are the person. Okay.
Jan lives in the kitchen. He'll wake up from a nap, kitchen.
See, so that's what. So when you give that, that is one more place which you can do that. And dressing, like I mentioned earlier. So that is another place where you can do. And if you can keep things at their reach.
Yeah.
Think things from the child's perspective. Basically, you do that, you will get to figure out what all to do.
Yeah.
Basically, even for a 6-year-old, if he has to polish his shoes, is the polish available? Is it near to him? Is the brush there? Does he have a cloth to wipe his hand over there? Simple.
Accessibility.
Very simple.
Accessibility, basically. They shouldn't have to come and ask you.
Yes. Basically, so once you show your child, see, these things are here. This is how I polish my shoe. You can polish your shoe. You're done. Sorted for life. Okay. You need not be like, Monday, beta, kidhar hai aapka shoes? Okay. You need not do that.
Yeah.
So you're giving space for a human to grow to their full potential. So think things from the child's perspective. That swaps you can automatically make in your home. Even if bed is a little tall, have something for the child to step in and climb out. Yeah. So all these
you
things.
Don't need those fancy floor beds and all.
Jagah ka hai.
True.
Okay. And that another one adds to your cleaning list.
Yeah.
So why?
True. Yeah. Let's get back to schooling. And you said that the Montessori schools are usually from 3 to 6, right? So after 6, the child has to eventually transition to the old school education system. How does that transition look like for a Montessori child?
Okay, so basically Montessori is not for 3 to 6.
Acha, okay.
It's from birth. Not home. We have toddler programs as well.
Okay. I stand corrected.
It's okay. And it's not only from till 6.
Okay.
We have till 18.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
But very less schools we have.
Okay.
Which do elementary. Okay. There are Montessori elementary schools as well. Beautiful. Children learn Pythagoras theorem.
Wow.
Okay. And it's not like, oh, I'm learning Pythagoras theorem. It's just like basically something that they're learning. It's very casual for them. Okay. So these children you can actually move into elementary. You have to look for a good school again nearby which serves elementary, and like I said, follow the same criteria, education of the teachers and where they are certified from and all those. You can move into Montessori methodology. Again, that would be a mixed age group.
Right.
6 to 12 in one class.
6 to 12, 6
Yes.
years.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They would be in one class. So again, they would bifurcate by 3 years, saying that, upper elementary, lower elementary, and all those. But that is only for the teachers and their records. Okay. And for the parents, basically. But not for the child. Okay. So that is how the program is. Actually, Maria Montessori was about to do university studies as well. But then, sadly, we lost her during that time, during her research of that time.
Okay.
But this, like I said, Montessori doesn't stop only till 6.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you have elementary school, but there are limited schools that have Montessori elementary and truly authentic Montessori. So if you go and search for a good one and you get it, bonus points. Close your eyes and go there. Okay. But now, if you have to transition a child into a traditional school, I will tell you, Montessori children are more adaptable to changes. Okay. So they have freedom of movement. There they are supposed to, बैठना है चुप होके बैठना है देखना है लिखना है ठीक है so but what we do basically we usually ask the parents if they are moving into traditional school or they're continuing Montessori. If they're continuing Montessori, we do not bother. They're like okay it's the same thing. Okay, but if it's they're planning to move to a traditional school, then we would guide them how to make a child sit in a place at home like half an hour every day. Let the child do something. Could be artwork, could be Lego. Sit in one place. That sitting tolerance is the only thing that we have to build. Other than that, trust me, in Montessori, syllabus wise, I compared our Montessori to all the syllabus that is there. Okay, our children almost complete first standard of ICSE syllabus by the time they turn 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so they're already
ready.
Ahead.
I tell you, these children are bored when they go to first standard, second. There are parents who come and say, "Can you stop teaching so much?" We have got that also. Parent is like, "My child is getting bored at school." There, my child is like,
"I know this."
See, my son who's coming now, he's going to traditional school. So he comes and he's like, I know this. Why are they teaching me again? I'm sorry, but you have to do it again. Okay. And the other day, he had to write a list of things which had numbers, basically. Anything from 1 to 100. So he had to write something about, some 5 things. He wrote 20 things. He's like, Amma, I know the spelling of these things. Why can't I write? I will write and I'll give it. I'm like, over smart bhi mat banna. Okay. But actually, when I compare syllabus by syllabus, we are almost completing first and ICSE syllabus. So, like I would say, it is not difficult for them to transition because they already know all these things. Okay, they know these things. They've worked enough with materials. Slowly, we wean them off. Okay, like when they are 6, slowly towards the end, we wean them off. In arithmetic, we do mental arithmetic. Okay, we do in language, they go read sentences, books, they write. You know what I do with my children? So in this 2 weeks, we have covered nouns, verbs and prepositions as well.
Okay.
So I've covered these 3 things already for my children, and adjectives, right? I finished last week. So we have covered these 3. Now I give some fun assignments. I told them, let's keep a secret. Okay, go home, take a page, you think in your brain whatever sentence comes, you write. It should have verb, it should have a noun, it should have a preposition. Okay, this one girl so sweetly she writes, the cat jumps on a lazy dog. Okay. And I have a big list of such cute funny. And she's like, it was a very, my mother doesn't know this. So what we do is, all these homeworks, I file it and keep it. End of the year, I show it to the parents. Okay, so it's a very beautiful thing for the parents also to recall. So this child, and cute, I have never instructed. Child underlines and writes, this is noun, this is verb, and this is preposition.
Wow.
Cat jumps on. Finish. No, 1 sentence, I'm done. And this child writes about 10 sentences. And they love to write things. Okay, so we think that creative writing is for older children, basically. But by 5, 6, when we prompt them to think and write, they write beautiful sentences by themselves, independently. So my child who can write this, comprehend, answer my, I say a paragraph or something and I ask questions, they answer to the questions. This child who's already doing all this, imagine in first standard,
will be bored. For sure.
I know this.
Okay, nice.
So there's nothing for the parent to be scared of when it comes to transition. Children beautifully adapt. Like I say, all of a sudden you're moving to US tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Take your child.
You will take your child.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, oh my God, now what with the child?
Yeah,
Right? Children will adapt the same way. Even for a traditional setup, they are easily going to adapt. Okay? You just might have to give them some time. They don't get that freedom.
Yeah.
Just give them that time to
So
sit.
the sitting tolerance is the only thing.
Is the only thing that you need to work on. If they learn that, it's a cakewalk for them. Because they know how to be silent.
Yeah, that is already a boundary.
They know how to focus on their work. When you're working, you work on your work. Don't talk to others. You finish your work and then go talk. So we do that. So they know when they have to focus on their work, they have to finish their work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So now let's do a fun segment because Montessori comes with so many myths. I have specifically written down 7 myths that I could think of. And you just have to tell me if this is true to Montessori or if this is a myth.
Okay.
Just
Might that, right?
Just
that.
If you feel like you want to explain something, go ahead. Okay. So first one, Montessori kids are allowed to do whatever they want.
No. Myth. Comes with a boundary.
Montessori only works for quiet, obedient kids. It cannot handle high energy or strong-willed children.
Absolutely big myth because we channelize their energy. Your child could be introvert, extrovert, or somewhere in between. We help them channelize their energy while they work.
Montessori doesn't work in joint families, Montessori at home, because there are too many people to spoil the flow.
See, that could be a truth or a myth. Like,
it's dependent.
It's somewhere, dependent on the family and how open you are with communication in the family. And how everyone thinks from the child's perspective in the family.
Yeah. In Montessori, parents cannot say no to their child.
Oh, no. It's a big myth. We say no. We say a big no.
We have talked enough for people to understand this now. Montessori kids don't learn math or reading until much later.
No, absolutely no. Because like I said, my 3.5-year-old child knows how to change. That is, if I get 10 tens, it becomes 100. My child knows how to change it.
Yeah.
So it's not
a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth.
If my child doesn't go to a Montessori school, there's no point of trying it at home.
Absolutely no, because like I said, Montessori starts always from home. Even though you need not have Montessori school, but if you want to instill that values in your child, you can have it at home.
Montessori means no rewards or praises at all, which means it will demotivate my child.
Definitely not. Because here my child is working for themselves. They're not working for a praise or an acknowledgement from me. Okay, when they finish, when a child finishes work, they're like, okay.
Oh, so the self-satisfaction.
Yes. We sit and we observe that they finish and they're like, I did that. Okay.
I did that.
Yes. So that is more than enough. That is their reward. Why would they need another person? See, when you do things to satisfy others, you lose interest later.
Yeah.
As an adult, later on, when you do something, you have to be like, I am happy with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's all.
So I think this is one of the most difficult things that I faced when I was reading about Montessori and even implementing it with Gyan. I find it so difficult to just hold back my praises. Like, kitna bhi karo, wo muh se nikal hi jata hai. Oh,
See,
you did
that's
a good
the same
job.
thing because we were trained like that. We were also, wow, super star deti hu aaj.
Not even star, but just, praising them.
Correct.
It's so ingrained in us. So difficult to hold it back.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'll give you an example. The other day he did something which was something new for him. So I was like, oh wow, I'm so proud of you. And I immediately backed that up with, oh, you must be proud of yourself too, right? Because then my book came in that, no, you're not supposed to say. You're not supposed to say I'm proud of you.
See, sometimes wo muh se nikal jata hai. Okay, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Although, see, in the environment, I might not praise a child. Inside, I'm praising the child.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, my child did that. And you immediately after the children leave, we are like to each other, you know what, my child did today? The excitement in us is double.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't praise the child. We don't tell them you did a good job. We're like, yeah, you did exactly like how I showed you. Okay. So that is like, I did exactly like how ma'am showed me. And then that sense of satisfaction comes in. Although we crave to say that, wow, super.
So difficult to hold that.
I keep on saying, wow, super.
I know.
I say that to myself first and then I go.
Yeah.
So that I don't go and say it to the child.
Yeah, that's a good trick. Say it to yourself first.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Interesting. I think that was the end of this segment. Any other myths you feel you want to break here since you're talking about it?
Yeah, like I want every parent to know that Montessori is not about toys. That is one big myth because I don't want you to fall for that. I don't want you to think, Montessori is only shelf.
Yeah.
It's beyond that.
Yeah. Way beyond that.
Yeah,
We've
way beyond that.
covered a lot, I think, in the past 1 hour for people to
Yeah.
get a sense of what truly Montessori is. Let's move away from Montessori
Okay.
and do something fun.
Okay.
It's just for all the moms who are watching us. So it's called Is It Just Me Or? So the idea is just to sort of have a few, like exchange a few sentences one by one where we maybe draw it from our own personal experience and talk about things that we wonder, is it just me or does everyone go through this? So for example, is it just me or does your child also have a tantrum when you cut the banana wrong?
Okay.
So that's the idea.
Okay.
So we'll just take turns and probably see where it goes.
Okay.
So I'll start with mine and then you can.
Yeah.
So is it just me or does your child also have a tantrum when you cut the banana wrong?
Okay. Okay,
Your
next
turn.
me. So is it just me or is it that every time I step into my house, I step on a Lego?
Every time. I'm preparing for it when I go back home. Is it just me or do the Y's get on your last nerve too?
It always.
It is so difficult. Oh my. I'm just like somehow controlling myself. Ki, no, it's okay. He's supposed to ask questions.
Yeah. I know. Okay. Is it just me or does everyone go through 10 tantrums at least before their nap time?
20 sometimes. With a strong-willed child, it never ends.
I swear.
So is it just me or reading the same book for the 10th time makes you want to just throw it out of
I swear. I'm like, you know it by heart. Khud pad le. What do you want me?
And he will read it also on his own.
Yeah.
There was actually this happened. He surprised me. Okay, I'm in the kitchen. So morning usually is just me and him. My husband sleeps a little extra. So I'm in the kitchen. I'm making breakfast and I tell him, you can be with me or you can be outside. Your wish. He's like, okay, I'll come in sometime. He goes. He sits on his sofa. He picks a book and he's reading it out loud.
Aww.
He's not reading. He
Yeah,
just
yeah,
remembers
remembers
it.
it. Yeah.
And, he's just like, and I hear something and I go out. I'm like, what is happening? He's reading to himself. But that was just one isolated incident which never repeated itself. I was so much at peace, but no, 10 times. We've been reading the same bedtime book since the past 1 month.
Oh God.
Every day. I'm like, aaj change kar lete hain. He's like, nahi.
No.
Nahi padna. Anyways, you go.
Yeah. Is it just me or how many ever times you be called Amma a day or Ma a day? You're like, what now? What? Okay. I'm like each time. Like, oh God, what now?
My husband's like, oh, he's calling you so nicely. What's the problem? You won't get it. He's not calling you 50 times.
And this is so funny, my son, the younger one, calls me Amma like 100 times in a day. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm driving to school, and he so we go in two-wheeler, my younger one and me, and we have lots of fun. Okay. So in the drive, so it's a traffic. There's a signal, and we have stopped, and he's like, Amma. All of them are like, what? I was like, oh my God. He's like, Amma. I'm like, Saket, I can hear you. You need not scream. Then he lifted his helmet, the glass, and he said, oh yeah, now I can hear you. Oh God.
I think Kian has had this new thing where he wakes up and before, like 5 minutes before getting out of bed, he'll either be singing or he'll just be saying mama, 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 mama.
Has to finish that rep.
For a second, I'm like, am I dreaming? Is this for real? But then I'm like, no, this is for real. Like,
Oh God.
Because we sleep on the same bed. So, and he's always like in me in the morning. He's always like completely inside me.
I get that.
So I'm like, okay, no, it's time to wake up. But my day starts with mama.
Oh God.
You know that meme? There was this meme of a cartoon where like there's a mom and then there's a kid saying mama, mama, mom, mom, mom. He would have said like 50 times and then his mom's like, what? And he just says hi.
Oh God.
It's really old. I think it's like 5-6 years old when I saw it.
That's what, see, although like what? We just crave for that call also, right?
Yeah.
We're like,
True.
each, like, half an hour, if I don't get that call, I'm like, okay, where's my child?
Is everything okay? That is true. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go one and then last.
Okay.
Is it just me or do your toys finally end up all over the floor and not on the shelf?
Always. It's all over the floor.
All over the
always.
floor, yeah.
Is it just me or does your child also offer you half chewed food to you as a gift?
And I'm like, I don't want it. Oh God.
It goes, they chew and they give. Mama, even you eat.
I think it's something with boys, honestly.
Yeah.
I've never heard a mom of a girl say this to me.
Yeah.
It's always the boys. Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah. Always. And even though I've told him not to do it, don't do it. I will not take it. Still
It does that. Even mine does that. He's like, then they realize that, we haven't had and they're like, eat mine. Bas, nahi chahiye.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I think girls are a little more,
sophisticated.
Yeah, that way. Because when I work with children and all the girls are like, stick to me and they come with me. They like to check my nail paint. They like to talk and all those. So whenever they come to me, ma'am. What?
Wow.
They do that. Ma'am.
Oh God.
The way they walk, the way they carry themselves, and these boys I have. I'm like, I can relate.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
so
God.
true. Wow, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've talked for more than an hour. I didn't even
God.
realize.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. I genuinely did not realize.
Even
where
I did
the
not
time
realize.
went. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, just to end it, I want to ask you one last question. What would you tell your younger first mom self during that first tantrum she ever handled? Today, the wiser you, what would you tell her?
Okay, I would just say shut up because I start giving lecture. Okay. So I never thought of it, I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
I start giving lectures. I was like, oh, you were not supposed to do that. That is why I start giving. And this child is like, बेचारा मुझे देख रहा है कि क्या बोल रही है. So I would just tell the younger myself, please shut up. Stop talking.
Let him cry.
Let him cry.
Oh, God.
Okay, so that is the only advice that I would give.
Beautiful. I think everyone needs to hear that at some point. Even now.
Yeah.
Even though we know all these things,
Yeah.
we know what we're supposed to do, it's just so ingrained in us that's what comes out.
Correct.
Right? Like the first thing is to explain
Yeah.
what you did was wrong and why it was wrong.
Why it happened and
Yeah.
why are you crying?
Yeah.
And this child is like, what did I do?
Yeah, that is true. A good reminder for everyone.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
taking
so
out the
much for
time.
having me here. I truly enjoyed it.
Same here. Lovely conversation. I
Thank
learned
you.
a lot. I always tell this even to my followers. If whenever I send Kian to school, it is to a Montessori school. Like that is pretty clear in my head. But I think there's a lot of confusion, a lot of myths
Yeah.
around it, and I really hope that this conversation helped
Yep.
someone
Yeah.
who's listening and they're able to make a more informed decision, be it Montessori or not.
Yes.
Just having that information.
Yes,
helps.
yes,
Right.
definitely.
So I like to end each episode with this segment that I call the mom pause. The idea is that moms don't really pause. They don't sit. Right. And if someone has listened to us for this long, they can take 2 minutes out
Yeah.
for themselves
Yeah.
and just sit in silence. So we're just going to take a positive thought. I'll play some music and everyone listening, watching, whatever you're doing, folding laundry, cooking, just take those 2 minutes and sit in silence.
Yes.
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 So the affirmation for today is, I'm learning alongside my child. I don't need to have all the answers, just an open heart. So beautiful. I'll play some music and all of us can just sit, close our eyes and just exist for 2 minutes.